The moment you clicked this video, something unusual already happened. Maybe you think it was just another random choice. But what if it wasn't? What if the quantum field already reacted before your finger touched the screen? What if your thoughts were not born inside your brain, but received from something much bigger? Take a second and think about this. Have you ever started thinking about someone, and a few minutes later they called you? Or you suddenly felt that something was about to happen, and then it actually did? Most people call it luck. Some call it coincidence. But what if these moments are small signs that your mind is connected to an invisible field that exists all around you? Scientists still argue about how deep the quantum field really works. But one idea keeps coming back again and again. Everything in the universe is connected at a level we cannot see. Not just stars, not just atoms. Even information may travel in ways we still do not fully understand. If that is true, then every thought you have may leave a mark inside this invisible field, and the field may answer back. Now here is where things become strange. Think about the last few days. Did you notice the same numbers again and again? Did one person suddenly appear in your mind for no reason? Did you feel a strange pull toward changing your life, even though nothing outside had changed? Most people ignore these moments. They brush them away because they seem too small. But what if those small moments are actually messages? Imagine standing in a huge room filled with invisible radio signals. You cannot see them. You cannot touch them. Yet the moment you turn on a radio, one signal becomes clear. Your mind may work the same way. Every thought could be a frequency. Every emotion could change the signal you receive. Fear pulls one kind of reality closer. Hope pulls another. Curiosity opens doors that fear never allows you to see. But there is one secret almost nobody talks about. The quantum field does not only react to what you say, it reacts to what you deeply believe. You can repeat positive words all day, but if your hidden belief says, "This will never happen," the field listens to the hidden belief first. That is why so many people feel stuck. They change their words, but never change the signal beneath them. And here is the part that may surprise you. Right now, while you are listening, your brain is already comparing these ideas with memories you forgot years ago. Tiny events, small feelings, moments that never made sense before. It is almost like another part of your mind is quietly putting pieces together while your conscious mind is still trying to understand. So let me ask you one question. What if this video did not appear because of an algorithm, but because your own thoughts match the signal it carries? What if the connection started long before today? And if that is true, then the next thing you are about to discover may completely change the way you see every thought that enters your mind. Most people believe that thoughts stay inside the head. They come, they go, and then they disappear. But what if that is only the first layer of the story? What if every thought sends out a signal, and every signal quietly searches for something that matches it? Think about how often your mood changes your entire day. Wake up with fear, and suddenly every small problem feels bigger. Wake up with confidence, and even difficult situations seem easier. Many people think this happens because of attitude alone. But what if your inner state is doing something more? What if it is changing the way the quantum field responds to you? Imagine dropping a small stone into a calm lake. The circles move farther and farther until they touch places you cannot even see anymore. Your thoughts may work the same way. You cannot see the waves they create, but that does not mean the waves are not real. Every belief, every emotion, every expectation could be moving through the invisible field around you. Now here is something very few people notice. Have you ever entered a room where someone looked perfectly calm, yet you instantly felt something was wrong? Nobody said a word. Nothing looked different. But somehow you knew. That feeling may not be your imagination. It could be your mind picking up information before your eyes do. We often call it instinct. But what if instinct is simply your connection to the quantum field becoming stronger than your logical mind? This is why two people can face the exact same situation and walk away with completely different results. One sees only closed doors. The other suddenly notices opportunities everywhere. The outside world may look the same, but the signal each person sends is completely different. But there is another twist. The field does not only respond to your strongest thoughts, it also reacts to the thoughts you repeat without noticing. The quiet voice inside your head saying, "I'm not good enough," or "nothing ever changes for me," may become a pattern. And the more that pattern repeats, the stronger its signal becomes. Now imagine the opposite. What happens if someone slowly changes that hidden signal? Not by pretending, not by forcing fake happiness, but by truly believing that new possibilities exist. At first, nothing seems different. The world looks exactly the same. Then small events begin to appear. A conversation that was never planned. A message arriving at the perfect time. An unexpected chance. Most people call these lucky breaks. But what if they're the first signs that the field has started matching your new frequency? This is where many people make a mistake. They stop because they expect instant proof. But nature almost never works that way. A seed does not become a tree overnight. It grows beneath the surface before anyone can see it. Your connection with the quantum field may follow the same rule. The biggest changes often begin where your eyes cannot see them. And just when you think nothing is happening, the field can answer in a way you never expected. Because there is one hidden rule that almost nobody understands. And once you see it, you'll never look at your own thoughts the same way again. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract the same kind of problems again and again? Different city, different job, different people. Yet somehow the story repeats. It looks like bad luck from the outside, but what if something much deeper is happening? Picture a mirror that never shows your face. Instead, it reflects your strongest inner signal. Every hidden belief becomes part of the image it sends back. If deep inside you expect failure, the mirror keeps showing situations that seem to prove you right. If you truly expect growth, the mirror begins revealing paths that were always there, but you never noticed them before. This is where the quantum field becomes even more interesting. The field does not care whether a thought is positive or negative. It does not judge. It simply responds to the energy you feed the most. Think of it like an echo in a huge valley. Shout one word again and again, and that is the word that keeps coming back. Your repeated thoughts may work the same way. Now imagine someone waking up every morning with one silent question in their mind. What if today goes wrong? They may never say it out loud. They may even smile in front of other people. But inside, that question keeps playing. Their attention starts searching for proof. One small problem appears, and suddenly it feels like confirmation. The signal grows stronger. The cycle repeats. But now imagine another person asking a different question. What unexpected opportunity might appear today? Notice the difference. They are not pretending everything is perfect. They are simply opening their mind to another possibility. Their attention changes. They begin noticing people, ideas, and chances that were invisible before. The outside world did not suddenly transform. Their focus did. This is why your questions matter more than your answers. The quantum field responds to the direction of your attention. Every question points your mind toward a different reality. Ask fearful questions long enough, and fear becomes familiar. Ask powerful questions with real belief, and your brain begins searching for completely different patterns. But there is one detail almost everyone misses. Your strongest signal is not created when life is easy. It is created when life becomes difficult. Anyone can think positive thoughts when everything is going well. The real test comes when things fall apart. In that moment, your first reaction reveals the frequency you have trained for years. Do you instantly expect defeat? Or do you quietly believe that even this challenge is leading somewhere you cannot yet see? That single moment may send one of the strongest signals into the quantum field. And here's the twist. Many people believe the field changes their future. But what if it first changes them? What if the opportunities were always present, yet the field slowly reshapes your awareness until you can finally recognize them? If that's true, then the greatest shift is not happening around you. It is happening inside you. And once that inner shift begins, something even stranger starts to happen. People around you begin reacting differently, as if they are responding to a version of you that didn't exist before. That is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Have you ever met someone for the first time and felt as if you already knew them? Or walked into a place and felt completely comfortable, while another place made you uneasy for no clear reason? Most people ignore these moments because they cannot explain them. But what if your mind is sensing patterns before your conscious brain can understand them? The quantum field may not speak with words. It may speak through feelings, timing, and small events that seem too perfect to be random. Think about the people who enter your life. Sometimes one conversation changes everything. One stranger shares a single idea, and months later you realize that moment changed your entire direction. At the time, it felt ordinary. Looking back, it feels like every step somehow led to that exact meeting. Was it chance? Or were your thoughts slowly guiding you toward people carrying the same signal? Imagine thousands of invisible paths crossing every second. Every person is sending thoughts, emotions, and intentions into the same field. Most signals pass by without touching yours. But every now and then, two signals match. When they do, lives can cross in ways that seem impossible to predict. This is why some friendships feel natural from the very beginning. This is why certain opportunities appear exactly when you stop chasing them. It is not always because the outside world suddenly changed. Sometimes you changed first, and the field simply reflected that change back to you. But here is the part that many people never notice. The field is always listening, even when you are talking to yourself. That quiet voice in your mind is not harmless. Every day it repeats small messages. I'll probably fail. People like me never succeed. Nothing good ever lasts. At first, they seem like passing thoughts. But repeated often enough, they become instructions. Your brain starts filtering reality through them. You stop seeing possibilities because your attention is busy looking for proof of your fears. Now imagine replacing those hidden instructions. Not with fake confidence. Not with empty words. But with honest beliefs like, I don't know how yet, but I can learn. There may be an opportunity one haven't noticed. This challenge may be preparing me for something bigger. These thoughts do something powerful. They do not force reality to change overnight. They change what your mind is willing to notice. Suddenly a book catches your attention. A conversation feels important. An idea that seemed impossible yesterday suddenly looks worth trying. Then something unexpected happens. Other people begin responding differently to you. They trust you more. They listen longer. They remember your name. They offer help without you asking. From the outside, it looks like your luck has changed. But what if they are simply reacting to the signal you are now sending? And this leads to one of the biggest mysteries of the quantum field. If your thoughts can influence your attention, and your attention changes your actions, and your actions quietly reshape your future, then where does the process truly begin? Or with a single thought that appeared long before you realized its power? The answer to that question uncovers a hidden rule that almost nobody sees. And once you understand it, you'll never think about your own mind in the same way again. There is a reason why two people can hear the same advice, read the same book, and face the same challenge, but only one of them completely changes their life. The difference is not information. It is connection. The quantum field does not respond because you collected more facts. It responds when a thought becomes so real inside you that it changes the way you see everything around you. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. At first, someone can explain every step. They can tell you where to place your feet, how to balance, and when to turn. But nothing changes until your body actually feels the balance. In one moment, something clicks. After that, you never ride the same way again. Your mind works in a similar way. There are ideas you understand, and there are ideas you become. The moment an idea becomes part of your identity, your actions begin changing without effort. This is why some people spend years saying they want a better life, but every morning they repeat the same habits. Deep inside, they still see themselves as the same person. Their thoughts never become a new identity, so the signal they send into the quantum field never truly changes. But then something unexpected happens. One experience. One decision. One deep realization. Suddenly they stop saying, I hope things change. Instead, they quietly think, I am becoming someone different. That single shift changes everything. Because your brain starts asking new questions. What skill should I learn? Who should I talk to? What small step can I take today? Notice how different those questions are from. Why does this always happen to me? The questions themselves begin creating a new path. And the strange part is, it often feels as if life starts answering back. The right article appears at the right moment. A stranger shares the exact advice you needed. An opportunity shows up where there was nothing before. People usually call these coincidences. But what if they are the natural result of a mind that has finally aligned its attention with a new direction? Here is where many people misunderstand the quantum field. They expect magic. They expect instant success. They expect reality to change while they stay exactly the same. But the field seems to work in another way. First, it changes your awareness. Then your awareness changes your choices. Your choices change your habits. Your habits slowly change your future. Looking back, it feels like everything happened naturally. But if you trace every step backward, you arrive at one tiny beginning. A single thought that refused to disappear. And now comes the biggest twist of all. What if some thoughts are not random at all? What if certain ideas keep returning because they are trying to move you toward a version of yourself that already exists as a possibility? If that sounds impossible, the next discovery may completely change the way you think about intuition, purpose, and the hidden messages your own mind has been sending you for years. Close your eyes for just a moment and think about every idea we've explored together. Not as separate pieces, but as one connected picture. From the first thought that entered your mind, to the patterns you notice every day, to the people who unexpectedly appear in your life, every part points toward one simple truth. Your mind is never completely disconnected from the reality you experience. Whether you see the quantum field as a scientific mystery, a symbol for how attention shapes perception, or simply a way to think more deeply about your own habits, one fact remains clear. The thoughts you repeat become the life you slowly build. Every day, your brain decides what deserves attention. What you focus on becomes familiar. What becomes familiar begins guiding your choices. And your choices quietly become your future. Maybe the greatest power was never hidden somewhere outside you. Maybe it has always been hidden in the questions you ask yourself, in the beliefs you protect, in the habits you repeat when nobody is watching. The quantum field, whatever your interpretation of it may be, reminds us of one powerful lesson. Nothing changes in a single second, but everything can begin with a single second. One new decision, one different reaction, one moment where you choose curiosity instead of fear, hope instead of doubt, growth instead of comfort. That tiny choice may seem invisible today, but invisible things often create visible results later. So the next time a powerful idea keeps returning to your mind, do not ignore it immediately. Observe it. Question it. Learn from it. Then take one real action. Because thoughts without action remain dreams. Action gives those thoughts a chance to become reality. And perhaps that is the real connection people are searching for. Not that the universe magically changes for us, but that changing the way we think changes the way we act, and changing the way we act changes the life we experience. Now I want to leave you with one final question. If your future is being shaped by the thoughts you choose to feed today, which thought deserves your energy after this moment? Maybe the answer to that question will become the beginning of your next chapter. If this video made you stop and think, share in the comments what idea stayed with you the most. And if you're ready to explore more mysteries of the mind, consciousness, and the quantum field, subscribe and join us for the next journey. Because sometimes the smallest thought becomes the biggest turning point. Have you ever noticed that some ideas refuse to leave your mind? You push them away. You distract yourself. You tell yourself it is only imagination. Yet days, weeks, or even years later, the same thought quietly returns. Most people think these repeating thoughts are meaningless. But what if they are not? What if the quantum field is not placing thoughts into your mind, but highlighting the ones that already carry the strongest possibility? Imagine standing in front of a mountain filled with hidden paths. From where you stand, you can only see one road. But from high above, every possible path is visible at once. Now imagine that your future is not one fixed line. Instead, it is made of many possible directions. Every decision opens one path, while quietly closing another. This is where the mystery becomes fascinating. Your thoughts may not be predicting the future. They may be pulling you toward one version of it. Think back to a time when you ignored a strong feeling. Maybe you wanted to call someone, but decided not to. Maybe you almost accepted an opportunity, but backed away at the last moment. Maybe something inside whispered, "Go this way," but fear made you choose another road. Later, you looked back and wondered, what would have happened if I had listened? Almost everyone has experienced a moment like this. The strange part is that your logical mind usually speaks loudly. It gives reasons. It argues. It searches for proof. But intuition is different. It is quiet. It arrives without force. And if you ignore it long enough, it simply becomes silent. Some researchers believe your brain constantly notices millions of tiny details that never reach your conscious awareness. Tiny facial expressions, small changes in voices, patterns hidden inside daily life. Your conscious mind sees very little. Your deeper mind sees much more. Now imagine if the quantum field works with that deeper awareness instead of your surface thoughts. Suddenly, intuition no longer feels mysterious. It feels like information arriving before your conscious mind has finished connecting the dots. But here's the twist. Not every thought deserves your trust. Fear can also sound convincing. Doubt can pretend to be logic. Past pain can disguise itself as intuition. So how do you know the difference? One simple clue appears again and again. Fear usually screams. Intuition usually whispers. Fear rushes you. Intuition stays calm. Fear focuses on what you might lose. Intuition quietly points toward growth, even when the path feels uncertain. That does not mean intuition is always easy to follow. In fact, it often asks you to step outside your comfort zone, to learn, to forgive, to let go, to begin again. And every time you choose that quiet inner voice instead of automatic fear, something inside starts changing. Your confidence grows. Your awareness becomes sharper. You begin noticing patterns that once seemed invisible. It is almost as if the quantum field starts becoming clearer because you are finally listening. And then one day, something happens that is impossible to ignore. A chain of events unfolds so perfectly that calling it luck no longer feels like enough. That is the moment when many people stop asking whether the quantum field is real and start asking a much deeper question. If my thoughts have been connected all along, who or what has been listening? For thousands of years, people have asked that question in different ways. Some called it destiny. Some called it divine guidance. Others called it the universe. Today, many people use the words quantum field because they are searching for a language that connects science, consciousness, and human experience. But before we go further, there is something important to understand. The quantum field is not a person watching your every move. It is not a magical machine granting wishes. And it is not a shortcut that replaces action. The real mystery is much deeper. Imagine standing in a forest. If you shout your name, the forest gives you an echo. The echo is not choosing your words. It is simply reflecting what you sent. Now imagine that your thoughts, emotions, and actions create a similar echo inside reality. Not instantly. Not perfectly. But over time. Every choice teaches your brain what to notice. Every repeated emotion strengthens a pattern. Every habit tells your mind, this is important. Eventually, your entire reality begins reflecting those patterns back to you. This is why people often feel trapped without knowing why. They think they are living the same year over and over again. The same fears. The same arguments. The same disappointments. Different faces. Different places. But the same story. It is almost like their inner signal never changed. Now imagine one small change. Not a huge decision. Not a dramatic transformation. Just one new habit. Instead of checking your phone the moment you wake up, you spend 5 quiet minutes asking yourself one question. What kind of person do I want to become today? At first, nothing dramatic happens. The room looks the same. The world outside has not changed. But inside your brain, something begins moving. That single question changes what your attention searches for. Throughout the day, you become more aware of your own choices. You catch yourself before reacting with anger. You notice an opportunity you would have ignored before. You speak with more confidence. One small change creates another, then another. Weeks later, people around you begin saying something surprising. You've changed. The funny part is, they cannot explain exactly what changed. Neither can you. But they can feel it. This may be one of the greatest secrets behind the quantum field. The strongest signals are often invisible. Confidence has no color. Peace has no shape. Hope has no sound. Yet every one of them changes the way you move through the world. And the world responds differently. But there is one final piece that almost nobody considers. If millions of people are sending thoughts into the same invisible field every single second, then what happens when many minds begin thinking in the same direction at the same time? Could shared thoughts influence entire communities? Could collective beliefs shape history itself? And if that is possible, then the thought inside your mind right now may be part of something far bigger than your own life. It may already be connected to countless others, without you even realizing it. History is full of moments that seemed impossible until they happened. A single idea spreads. One person believes it. Then 10. Then 1,000. Soon, millions of people begin acting differently because of one shared thought. Every major movement began inside someone's mind before it ever appeared in the world. Was that only human psychology? Or is there something deeper happening when many minds focus on the same possibility? The quantum field raises a fascinating question. What if thoughts are not only personal? What if they become stronger when many people hold them together? Imagine thousands of musical instruments playing random notes. The sound is noisy and confusing. But when every instrument begins playing the same rhythm, something powerful happens. The separate sounds become one. The music grows louder, clearer, and impossible to ignore. Human minds may work in a similar way. When millions of people live with fear, fear spreads quickly. One worried person influences another. News becomes darker. Conversations become heavier. Even people who were once hopeful begin expecting the worst. Now imagine the opposite. One calm person enters a room filled with stress. They do not shout. They do not force anyone to change. Yet after a few minutes, everyone begins relaxing. Have you ever experienced that? One person's energy quietly changed the atmosphere for everyone else. Maybe that is why emotions spread faster than words. Your brain is constantly reading tiny signals. Body language, tone of voice, facial expressions, breathing. Without realizing it, you are always receiving information from the people around you. Now take that idea one step further. If human minds are always influencing each other, could the quantum field be the invisible space where those influences quietly connect? No one can say for certain. But the possibility changes the way we think about responsibility. Because every thought you repeat does not affect only you. It shapes your decisions. Your decisions affect your family. Your family influences friends. Friends influence strangers. One small change inside one person can slowly travel farther than they ever imagined. Think about someone who encouraged you years ago. Maybe they only spoke a few simple words. They probably forgot the conversation, but you never did. Their thoughts became part of your story. Now your choices affect someone else. And the chain continues. This is why every great change begins quietly, long before the world notices, long before success becomes visible, long before anyone believes it is possible. It starts inside one mind willing to think differently. And perhaps that is the deepest message of all. The quantum field may not be asking you to control the universe. It may simply be asking you to become aware of the signals you are sending every single day. Because if your thoughts are connected, if your attention shapes your actions, if your actions influence others, then your life has been creating invisible waves from the very beginning. The only question left is this: what kind of signal will you choose to send next? And once you truly answer that question, you'll realize that the greatest discovery was never hidden inside the quantum field. It was hidden inside your own mind.